Albert Einstein once said, "Dostoyevsky gives me more than any scientist." In this video, we will discuss Dostoyevsky's masterpiece, The Brothers Karamazov, and also learn why Einstein and millions of others have turned to Dostoyevsky for both instruction and entertainment. On the surface, The Brothers Karamazov is a story about a Russian family. Fyodor is the dissolute father, Dmitri is the passionate and eldest son of Fyodor, Ivan is the intellectual atheist and Fyodor's second son, Alyosha is the pious novice and the youngest legitimate son, and Smerdyakov is the immoral and illegitimate son. Although the plot is thrilling and entertaining in itself, Dostoyevsky's primary goal in writing the novel is to explore complex moral and philosophical themes. Specifically, he addresses the existence of God and evil. Book 5 is the heart of the novel, in which Dostoyevsky presents the two opposing philosophical arguments of faith and doubt concerning God. Ivan, who represents the skeptic, argues that the existence of God is irrelevant. It's not that I do not accept God, it's the world erected by him I don't and cannot accept. Ivan rejects the world because there is innocent suffering and evil in it. Theologians and philosophers have provided several justifications for the existence of evil, but Ivan is not convinced by them. He first considers the explanation that evil is necessary to understand what is good. In other words, we would not be able to understand what is good unless there was evil. Ivan claims that the understanding of good and evil costs too much. The whole world of knowledge is not worth the suffering of one child. Ivan also asserts that the Christian concepts of heaven and eternal harmony are not adequate justifications for innocent suffering. Imagine that you are creating a fabric of human destiny with the object of making men happy in the end, giving them peace and rest at last, but that it was essential and inevitable to torture to death only one tiny creature, and to found that edifice on its unavenged tears. Would you consent to be the architect on those conditions? In response to Ivan, Alyosha, who represents the man of faith, does not try to refute his brother by using logical arguments. Instead, he performs a profound act of love. He kisses Ivan. This act is symbolic. It means that words are incapable of explaining the world and God. It is only through our intuitions and emotions, specifically through love, that we can understand and accept God in the world. Despite Dostoyevsky's religious zeal, he presents a much more compelling case against God and his creation than for them. William Blake once said of Milton, "He was a true poet and of the devil's party without knowing it." The same can be said of Dostoyevsky. We will conclude this video with one of Ivan's most scathing criticisms of the Christian God. There was a little girl of 5 who was hated by her father and mother. This poor child of 5 was subjected to every possible torture by those cultivated parents. They beat her, thrashed her, kicked her for no reason till her body was one bruise. Then they went to greater refinements of cruelty. Shut her up all night in the cold and frost in a privy, and because she didn't ask to be taken up at night, as though a child of 5 sleeping its angelic sound sleep could be trained to wake and ask, they smeared her face and filled her mouth with excrement. And it was her mother did this. And that mother could sleep hearing the poor child's groans. Can you understand why a little creature, who can't even understand what's done to her, should beat her little aching heart with her tiny fist in the dark and the cold, and weep her meek, unresentful tears to dear, kind God to protect her? Do you understand that, friend and brother, you pious and humble novice? Do you understand why this infamy must be and is permitted?